Hi there, Wellness Universe. This is Jen from empathicmastery.com, and I am extremely delighted to be one of the authors for book number 4 of the Complete Guide to Self-Care, or the Wellness Universe Guide to Complete Self-Care, 25 Tools for Goddesses. And so today I wanted to read my chapter to you guys. It is chapter 24 in the book. It is Sugar Freedom, EFT Tapping, EFT/Tapping for Food Cravings by Reverend Jennifer Elizabeth Moore, accredited EFT Master Trainer. So I am so thrilled to be here and to be sharing this chapter with you guys, because this tool has truly made one of the biggest differences in my own personal life. And when it comes to freedom from food and freedom from sugar cravings, tapping has been unparalleled for me. So let's get into it. And I'm just going to read the story, or read my story to you guys. So, my story. Sunday, 7 p.m. You are a goddess, I affirm. I stand before the mirror in my uncomfortably tight vintage dress. I want to feel sovereign in my body. I want to feel luscious and sexy. You are a goddess. Regardless of how many times I repeat this audacious claim, I don't buy it. Instead, I crave M&Ms and despair over the inconvenient truth that I outgrew half my wardrobe. Goddess, more like Miss Piggy, you shouldn't have eaten that entire quart of Rocky Road. The magical feminist replies, "Screw patriarchal standards, you're perfect. Feeling divine is but wishful thinking. Sugar's got me by the throat. I vow to myself, this will be the last binge." Monday, 4:30 p.m. I'll just have a little piece. That should be okay. I break off a portion of the massive chocolate bar I bought 20 minutes earlier from the bodega. Ah, there it is, that sweet surge, the molten bliss. All is well in my world. 4:33 p.m. I grab a roll of aluminum foil, hoping it will thwart my desire. 3 layers of foil wrap around the remaining 4/5 of my temptation. I'll savor this over the rest of the week. I pry bags of broccoli and nearly empty quarts of ice cream out of frost. I toss my chocolate behind the ice trays. I stack frozen dinners on top. That should do it. Out of sight, out of mind. Done. 4:38 p.m. Just a little more. That should be okay. No! Willpower. Girl, get a grip. Oh, F it. I grab my paring knife, slice the bar into 4 equal sections. I break one into squares. I put them in my bowl from high school pottery class. Oh my God, yum. You fat cow. You spoiled brat. You have no control. Put the rest back. Eating half is better than eating all of it. 4:43 p.m. You might as well eat it all. You know you're going to. Why wait? No. Come on. No. You know you want to. No. But it's so delicious. Okay, fine. But this will be the last time. I'll start dieting tomorrow. Except we all know what happens. Tuesday, 4 p.m., I exit the trolley 2 stops from home. Just a little something sweet. That's all I need. Halloween candy is 2 for 1? Well, I can't pass that up. I hand the cashier my last $5. She hands me 3 pounds of fun-sized treats. Yes, it was a while ago. 5 p.m. I sit in my cornflower blue corduroy chair. The cat bats crumpled balls of wrappers across the carpet. I shove the 2 remaining pounds into my underwear drawer. I'm never doing this again. If you've been in the clutches of sugar addiction, you know what I'm talking about. Countless hours lost in the struggle between discipline and defeat. It hurts walking up and down the stairs. You're puffy and bloated. Mental tapes of self-loathing run on repeat. From the ages of 13 to 40, I fought sugar addiction. It was a constant battle between my inner good girl and ravenous appetite. And I felt anxious, moody, and hopeless. I was caught between adoration and aversion with my beloved nemesis, sugar. The first time I stopped, I was 23. I hit rock bottom after I quit smoking and gained 40 pounds in 3 months. I abstained from sugar for 8 years. It wasn't easy. Eventually, self-will vanquished self-control. As someone committed to women's empowerment and busting cultural ideals of beauty, I'd abandoned diets years earlier. Ironically, this made my relationship with food more challenging. I wanted my rally cry to be, "Eat the damn cupcake." Excuse me. I wanted my rally cry to be, "Eat the damn cupcake." I wanted to believe abstaining from sweets and other starchy foods was an unnecessary deprivation. I wanted the truth to be that I could enjoy any treat. I wanted the truth to be that I could enjoy any treat I wanted in moderation if I got my emotional house in order. I hoped if I repeated enough acceptance and forgiveness affirmations, my body would magically find its perfect weight. Unfortunately, this was not the case for me. Instead, I discovered that sugar impacted everything. I'd hoped to merely reduce my consumption, but after a tiny exposure, I'd slip into a vicious cycle of craving and avoiding. Reducing processed sugar was a recipe for failure. Instead of getting into the other side of withdrawal and being done with it, I'd let a starving tiger out of the cage and find myself in a perpetual state of white knuckling. Anytime I ate candy, cakes, cookies, or even high carbohydrate savory foods, I faced a cascade of cravings and mental and emotional instability. I had to be honest with myself and admit that one was too many and 1,000 never enough when it came to sweets. I had to accept that I'd love my body more by embracing my limitations than ignoring them. However, self-imposed discipline can only last so long. If our only choice is enduring deprivation or scarfing down a pound of chocolate, eventually the candy wins. I spent over 2 decades struggling with abstinence. I exerted crazy amounts of energy to keep cravings at bay. Every temptation required doubling down on my emergency brakes. In comparison, the last decade has been effortless because I discovered EFT to address and soothe my cravings. Over time, the relentless hunger that defined the first half of my life vaporized. I went from deliberate avoidance of forbidden foods to indifference. As I write, I realize there is a partially eaten 6-month-old chocolate bar in my desk. If someone told me at 23 that I'd stopped eating M&Ms by the pound because I wouldn't even want them, I'd say they were lying. Amazingly, I can now consume organic artisanal chocolate in moderation, yet I no longer want to. Aside from the physiological benefits of a whole food diet and healing my gut, EFT tapping is the thing that completely transformed my relationship with my body and food. And this is why I want to share this tool with you. EFT for cravings. EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It employs tapping or light pressure on endpoints of acupuncture meridians while concentrating on an issue or challenge. It balances our body's energy system and reboots fight or flight reactivity in a fairly short time. Tapping calms our thoughts and feelings. It enhances relaxation. We can use it to dismantle entanglements with foods and other substances we use to self-soothe. EFT looked pretty strange to me the first time I learned about it. I'd think, how will tapping on my face keep me from eating a box of truffles? However, I tried everything else, so I was willing to give it a go. I did not tap on sugar or chocolate at first. I actually started by tapping for sensitivities when my body would react to ingredients in processed food. I started to sneeze less, my brain fog decreased. Over time, my resistance to dietary restrictions subsided. The first time I used EFT on cravings was for cheese. Instead of trying to avoid or deny my cravings, I leaned into them. I put a gluten-free pizza in the oven. I prepared a cheese plate for testing. The first taste of sharp cheddar lit up in my mouth. How could I not want this savory flavor? Yet, after a single round of tapping, the same cheese that had set my taste buds ablaze 5 minutes earlier was sort of meh. Not gonna lie, I ate the pizza and even had an extra slice. Initially, the shift was a lack of anguish over eating cheese. Eventually, I noticed bricks of unopened cheese remained in my refrigerator for months. I might eat a single portion and forget about it. It used to take massive effort to resist consuming an 8-ounce slab of cheese in one sitting. Now, I easily ignore it. If I eat more than one serving of cheese on rare occasions, I'm blessedly spared my negative self-talk and relentless guilt. By tapping on cravings, the pleasure centers of my brain no longer hijack my self-care. The tool. Now I'm going to teach you how to tap on a food craving so you can disengage from the addictive aspect to find ease and freedom instead. Before I explain this process in detail, I'll address some people's concerns about tapping for cravings. If I tune into my desire, won't I lose control? Fortunately, you'll probably be pleasantly surprised how quickly your hunger abates. However, for anyone with a substance abuse problem or allergies, it's better to tap without engaging directly with the substance. EFT has 3 repeating parts called the basic recipe. 1. Identify and rate. 2. Acknowledge and accept. 3. Tap and notice. This formula works whether you're addressing cravings, physical pain, stressful memories, negative self-talk, or any other kind of distress. EFT is surprisingly versatile while simultaneously incredibly simple. The key to success lies in tuning in precisely to the issue you're tapping on and being as specific as possible. While there are times when working with a skilled, accredited EFT practitioner will better serve you, tapping for food cravings is something you can do for yourself. I'm going to use chocolate as an example, but you can substitute any food you crave. Tune in. Generally, EFT starts by noticing thoughts, feelings, and sensations to identify what you need to tap on. With food cravings, we begin by engaging with our desire. Though it isn't necessary, it can help to have a sample on hand. This way, you can gauge shifts as they happen. Let's imagine you've decided to address a lifelong passion for Kit Kat bars. Unless you already have one stashed away, plan ahead and grab one the next time you're shopping. Before you even tap, pick up the wrapped candy. Hold it in your hand. Notice what it feels like to anticipate eating it. Think about how much you want it. Let yourself go there. Feel it. Then unwrap the chocolate and notice how you react to its smell and texture. Break off a piece and taste it. Take a moment to lean into the pleasure. Pay attention to your sense of taste and how it feels in your mouth. Then, consider how you'll rate the level of intensity, desire, and excitement on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 has no energy whatsoever. 10 is so extreme you can't imagine anything higher. Identify and rate. You can use the following questions for further clarification. How much do I want this? How does this feel in my mouth? What sensations have I noticed? What makes this so appealing? How am I reacting or responding to it? These answers provide a word or phrase for you to tap on. This will be the reminder that you'll repeat with each point to help you focus. For example, oh my God, yum! I love the sweet, velvety sensation of chocolate melting in my mouth. The contrast between the gooey caramel and the crisp layer of cookie makes this my favorite. I can't imagine not wanting this. Feeling caught between guilt and desire, I close my eyes and imagine how strong the pull is to eat another piece. It's heightened. I use these details to create a simplified set of reminder words: gooey, crisp, sweet, velvety chocolate. Because shifts can occur so swiftly and effectively, ironically, we'll forget where we started. That's one of the reasons we use what's called a SUDS, Subjective Units of Distress Scale. This is to determine your intensity on a scale of 0 to 10. Ask yourself, if 0 was no intensity at all and 10 was the most extreme possible, how would I rate it? Tuning into the gooey, crisp, sweet, velvety chocolate, it gets a rating of 8.5. With SUDS established, we move to the next step. Acknowledge and accept. The setup statement acknowledges our issue while also inviting new possibilities. The setup has two parts. Part 1 states what is. Even though I'm really craving this gooey, crisp, sweet, velvety chocolate, Part 2 offers a counterbalance. I love and accept myself anyway. The setup has three purposes. 1, to allow you to access your issue and express your reality. 2, to neutralize resistance by providing space for negative and positive feelings. 3, to define and express how you'd like to feel instead. The traditional balance statement is, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. If these words don't resonate for you or provoke dissonance, choose a statement that works for you. Take a moment to consider what feels best. It's important to use words you agree with. Here are some examples. I'm willing to love myself as I am today. I'm open to the possibility I can change. I'm doing my best, and that's good enough. It's safe for me to release this. I welcome surprisingly easy and unexpected shifts. Tap and notice. The previous steps help you to tune in and define your issue. Now we tap. Using the tips of your 3 middle fingers, tap gently on the outer edge of the opposite hand just below the pinky, right here on the side of your hand. As you tap, repeat your setup statement 3 times. Even though, state your problem. And then you're going to use any positive or neutral statement you prefer. So example, even though I'm really craving this gooey, crisp, sweet, velvety chocolate, I love and accept myself anyway. After you tap, while repeating the setup 3 times, you'll say the reminder words aloud as you tap through all the points. The point list is in the next section. Tune into your thoughts and feelings as you tap. Make note if any associations about the food come up or if you recall any specific memories. When you finish your first round, take a deep breath. Notice how you feel. Break off another piece of chocolate and engage with it. Notice how the smell affects you. Notice how strong your craving is. Taste it and notice if there's any difference in the flavor, texture, and sensation. Re-evaluate your SUDS and write your new number down. As you tap, perhaps you'll notice your craving details shift. The chocolate smell gets overshadowed by a scent of praline. What started as a gooey to crunchy ratio is now the salty-sweet combination. Adjust your words to reflect your new perspective. Evaluate your new SUDS. Adjust your setup and reminder to reflect the differences, and tap again. Setup. Even though I'm still craving this salty sweet candy bar, I love and accept myself anyway. Repeat 3 times. Reminder, this salty, sweet candy. Even if a number of new thoughts or underlying issues arise for you, it's more effective to stick with the craving. You might tap on the chocolate craving and recall a memory about Halloween candy, or even a fight with your mom over baking cocoa. Even if something new bubbles up, stay with the craving through the entire round of points. This allows you to track changes and systematically address them one piece at a time. Don't get sucked into a narrative and go down emotional rabbit holes. Stories and brainstorms overcomplicate the process. Keep it simple. Attempting to address multiple aspects distorts the process. You may feel tempted to go off on a tangent, but I encourage you to follow the protocol. The purpose of this approach is to diffuse the intensity of your craving. It is not to pull every skeleton out of your closet or dive into the drama. One of the things I love the most about EFT is how it addresses issues gently from a safe distance. While it may seem counterintuitive, less is more. Your precision will be rewarded. At the end of each round, return to the top of your head and take a deep breath. Scan for shifts. Re-rate your intensity 0 to 10. If your rating is a 3 or higher, repeat the tapping sequence until it is as low as it will go. Repeat your exact phrase as you tap through the points again. The tapping points. Side of the hand, right on the side of the hand, right there, the outer edge of your hand below your pinky. Top of the head, the crown of your head. Inner eyebrow, just above the bridge of your nose at the edge of your eye socket. Outer eye, on your temple, just past the corner of your eye. Under eye, directly under your pupil on the ridge of your eye socket, or if you're like me and you wear glasses, right where your glasses land. Under the nose, the philtrum, aka the groove between your nose and your lip. Some people call this the Cupid's bow. Under lip, the space between your lower lip and chin. Collarbones, the often tender spot just beneath your clavicle and above your nipples. Underarm. Now, you can't quite see where I am, but this is on the side of your upper ribs, past your breast, and just below your armpit. And then back to the top of the head again. Take a deep breath and rate your intensity. Persistence. Tapping for cravings is both simple and effective. It often takes only a couple rounds to dissipate a craving's urgency. As I mentioned about tapping for cheese, my initial results were fairly subtle. However, over the last decade, I've tracked significant differences. Tapping for new cravings and reactions to food sensitivities has a cumulative effect. Today, I marvel. Not only am I free from desires for unhealthy treats, but also my appetite is significantly decreased. I feel miraculously full with portions that would have left me starving 2 decades ago. My willingness to use EFT persistently has truly changed my life. I invite you to make tapping your go-to tool. Take your time. Excuse me. Take your time. Get familiar with the points. Practice leaning into your cravings. Rate your suds and tap them down. Most importantly, keep it simple and keep tapping. So that is my chapter 24, Sugar Freedom, from the Wellness Universe's Guide to Complete Self-Care, 25 Tools for Goddesses, by our fearless leader, and Anna Pereira, and a whole bunch of other absolutely amazing authors. If you have not yet gotten a copy of this book, you can look above in the comments, and there is a link for the book so that you can go and purchase your own copy. This book really has just so many spectacular and amazing tools. So it has been such a pleasure having an opportunity to read this for you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. And I am wishing you, hey Sharon, so good to see you. So I am just very grateful to be here, and thank you for being part of this today.